5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back from our first break. This is Prime Nation Live. It's May 10th. So we're going to talk about some pop culture. And the first order of business is yesterday, a state of emergency was declared in Washington State. Because apparently, up in silly old Washington State, they have an old nuclear bomb production facility where they would irradiate uranium and turn it into plutonium and then ship it underground to be turned
irradiate.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Make it radioactive. Treat it with chemicals to activate the radioactive properties.
And
essentially, like turning uranium into plutonium.
And then they'd ship it somewhere else?
Yeah, they would ship it under about 30 miles of underground tunnels to, it's still technically the same facility, but it's where they would construct the actual bombs.
And uranium's not radioactive on its own?
I'm sure it has, like, inert radiation that they had to activate. I'm sure it probably wouldn't be safe to just touch uranium,
What
know?
Is innate? I'm not trying to be difficult. What is innate radiation?
Inert, like it's...
Motionless radiation.
Like that's innate, right?
Or is inert is motion motionless.
Like
Innate
not
natural.
active.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inert is essentially like not active.
Okay.
So it probably, like, I don't think if you dropped it, it would cause an explosion or anything. Which I don't even think that's how plutonium works.
So they made it radioactive to ship it underground.
Yes.
Why?
Yes, because they had to activate the radioactive properties and then send it to the facility that made it into bombs.
Oh, okay. I thought they were doing this to get rid of it.
No.
Okay. All right.
So, but that brings us to
disregard the last 5 minutes.
It shut down production in 1957. Again, this was a place that was activating uranium, turning it into plutonium, which would then be made at the same facility into nuclear bombs. It was one of the original Manhattan Project sites. So it's closed production in 1957. So since 1957, they've been taking measures to bury not only all the radioactive material, but also all the transportation devices that they used. So it was primarily rail cars. So they have a series of tunnels that are just filled with these rail cars that contain, uranium rods. They say hundreds of billions of gallons of radioactive waste are just in this whole facility. So whether that's in the tunnels and the rail cars, all that stuff. Anyway, the state of emergency was declared because one of the tunnels that houses those irradiated rail cars collapsed yesterday. Roughly a 20 by 20 foot section of the tunnels collapsed.
That's what they wanted to do, isn't it?
No.
They wanted to bury it.
Well, they wanted to bury it, but then it collapsed and opened up. So now all that radiation is leaking out into the atmosphere.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. It caved in and opened up a big 20 by 20 foot hole.
Sinkhole. All right.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much. So now they're not even really sure how to go about filling it without widening the hole because, you can't just pour it into there because then it might just eat away at the rest of the soil. See, what happened is they buried everything, all the radioactive waste and the tunnels and everything, under 8 feet of soil. So I guess that, in the 50s at least, was like the standard for anti-radiation.
So why don't they want to pour more soil in?
Well, I mean, that might be what they want to do, but they're trying to figure out ways to fix the problem without making it worse. Because from what I read here, they're thinking if they just start pouring soil in, it'll just weaken the bottom soil and make it cave in further. Because essentially that's what happened to cause this cave in. But the real meat of the story for me is that this place has been decommissioned since 1957. They've been taking measures to bury and clean up everything. Apparently, they started the final...
I do that too when I clean up and I sweep things under the rug.
Bury.
This is like what my dog does on the wall.
If only it were that simple, though. Apparently, they started the final cleanup phase in the mid-90s. It was supposed to be done in 2007. Here it is, 2017. They say they're not even halfway done. They haven't even started treating any of the radioactive waste. So it's been over 20 years, $19 billion in cleaning this stuff up, and they haven't even started treating any of it. So in the Northwest, we have a stockade of hundreds of billions of gallons of radioactive waste that is now exposed to the atmosphere. So it's a relatively serious situation.
Nothing I can do about it.
Nothing any of us can do about it except for, get the word out there so that smarter people can flock to Washington and hopefully get paid for their work. But if not, figure out how to stop this before Washington State turns into those, the fish from The Simpsons with 3 eyes and stuff. That's pretty likely.
All right, doctor.
It is right next to the Columbia River, though. Let's
Good.
see.
I don't like Columbia.
Oh,
Terrible country.
What's that based on?
They're in South America.
I don't think it's that Colombia that we're talking about. But
It's Columbia, South Carolina.
So they have a picture here. I'm looking at npr.org. They updated this as of 5:45 p.m. yesterday.
NPR is a .org?
Yeah.
Indeed.
It is an organization. It's run by the government, technically.
Yeah, that's right.
They might still operate on the laws that you have to give both sides equal time.
Okay, yeah.
Even though that hasn't been around since the 80s, I think they still try to do that.
That's a good policy.
Did anyone interview the nuclear waste?
Well, I think, it just happened yesterday. The governor of Washington has been quoted as saying there are many questions about how the collapse happened. We'll have to get to the bottom of that. At the moment, we're focusing on the safety of workers and making sure there's no release beyond the immediate site. So they sent all non-essential personnel home. They've directed the essential personnel to avoid the tunnel, but they're still, within a pretty close proximity to this leaking radiation, which I don't know. I don't know how much. I mean, the half-life of radioactive waste is not 40 years. It's way longer than that. So I imagine that even being in the, proximity of this open sinkhole is very dangerous, but obviously none of us are, nuclear experts. But like I said, it's a pretty serious situation, not only because of the leaking radioactive waste, but because we have this stockpile here. So now that we have, it's not only in the public eye that there's a stockpile of radioactive waste. Now it's actually open, leaking into the atmosphere. So if anyone were to, plan any sort of attack or anything like that, I can't help but feel like this would be danger zone number one.
Highway to the danger zone.
Good old Kenny Loggins. We need him now more than ever.
And maybe he'll clean it up personally with his own bare hands. Kenny logs into his Facebook.
No, Islands in the Stream.
Is that Kenny Loggins?
Is it?
I don't think so.
That's Kenny Chesney.
No, it's not Kenny Chesney.
I think that's a girl band, isn't it?
No. That is.
Islands in the Stream.
I'm pretty sure it's him and Dolly Parton.
Hands in my truck.
Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers. Okay.
Kenny Rogers, that's who it is. Okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah, gotcha.
Sidney Roberts.
Kenny Rogers, I hardly know him.
So, Washington State, anyone who lives there, be safe.
Get out.
Yeah, you probably want to buy some hazmat suits.
Anyone who lives there, don't.
Anyone who lives there won't be longer.
Yeah, I got to imagine that they got
That was almost a sentence I said.
Were you guys, I lived near the North Carolina, nuclear problem a couple years ago.
The undetonated bomb?
No, they didn't detonate a bomb, just the
undetonated bomb.
No, not even that. I'm talking about, just the nuclear plant that had a leak, and they were evacuating, everyone in the city.
I didn't even hear about that.
Where?
Or I'm sure I did, but I don't remember it.
It was, in Apex. I remember waking up. I didn't have to evacuate. It was just everyone else did.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, that explains why you are the way you are.
Exactly.
And the crazy thing about this is, because we've all, any time that they're thinking about building a nuclear energy facility, they have to go around and hold all kind of town halls and make sure that the residents, if not approve of it, at least know of the risks and everything. But this wasn't just a nuclear energy facility. They had 9 nuclear reactors on this site where they, like I said, were producing radiation for nuclear weapons.
They need some nuclear proactors instead of some reactors.
But that brings me to my point is that I think we really got ourselves into quite a mess by investing so much into nuclear energy before we really understood it.
I don't think anybody disagrees.
Yeah, hopefully not. People who are making money off of it, I'm sure, disagree because people are still opening up nuclear facilities all around the world and the country. But we still, even in 2017, don't have a full grasp of the ecological implications, of the physical health implications for humans and animals.
I'm blindsided. Completely.
And with that, we'll get around to some slightly more fun news.
When I think fun, I think Uber assaults.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is going to be the new Webster Merriam definition here in a couple years. So in Nashville, Tennessee, good old Michael Ower.
I was just there. This could have been me.
And it happened on April 14th.
It was me.
Oh, man.
I was Michael Ower.
Michael Ower was...
How do you say his last name?
Ower, I'm pretty sure.
Ower?
Yeah.
Ower.
Maybe Michael Ower was on his way to the Record Breakers comedy show. Or was it comedy festival?
It's a show.
Okay, yeah. Maybe that's where he was going. Who knows? And then he couldn't make it there because of this pesky Uber driver putting his hands on his face. So the story here is that Michael Ower and some associates of his, who Michael Ower for those of you who don't know, Tyler's brilliant segue should have filled you in.
Yes,
he was the
Jennifer
subject.
Aniston's butt.
What?
Jennifer Aniston's butt.
Oh, that's Sandra Bullock, don't you mean?
Same thing.
Man.
It's the same
That's
thing.
not the same thing.
Not at
That's
all
her
the
on
same
the
thing.
right.
Now, I gotta
If you want me
say,
to get closer to the butt, I can.
Get closer to the one on the right.
I am. That's what I was going to do. Thank you for spoiling the joke.
I'm sorry, Tanner. I don't
He's
trust
got a
you.
back fupa.
You ever seen?
you gotta attribute that to the football pads, hopefully.
You ever seen someone's twig and berries somehow pushed over to the right on their back, on the back side? That's what it looks like.
What?
It looks like his crotch, but it's his butt.
Look, I don't know about any of
I
that.
think it's an
mumbo
optical
jumbo.
illusion. Do you guys remember how, like, in old advertising, they used to, like, give people a third leg or something like that? So, yeah, not like that. But they would, like, throw in something visually weird just so it would stick out in your head. Have you guys seen those?
No.
Here's his crotch.
Ah, very nice, very nice.
Oh, I got the check. It's good to go.
But yeah, maybe for that movie poster, they just reversed his bottom half so that, you know, it would be visually appealing.
Do you think he's got it tucked in that picture? Tucked up in his waistband?
He's trying to conceal it from the cameras. He was a little too excited.
He's on the Panthers.
Yeah, anyway.
And the Panthers don't stand for stuff like this. Like, any type of transgression whatsoever, you're in a fight, you're arrested for anything, you hit your wife,
Really?
you hit your girlfriend, you hit your mistress, you hit your daughter, you hit your son.
Yeah, because the
you hit your other
NFL
mistress,
at
any
large
of them.
is generally pretty receptive to that type of behavior.
The Panthers are not. Like, the guy that owns it, I think he also owns Hardee's. That's neither here nor there.
Carl Hardy Sr.?
Somewhere in between.
I think it's something Richardson.
Terry Richardson?
No, not Terry Richardson. Michael Richardson.
Huh.
Is that the Michael Richards? Is he the guy that?
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
This guy does not like any type of tomfoolery on his football team. That's one of the reasons I'm a big fan of the Panthers.
Cool.
Is
Yeah.
because I hate football as a whole and I hate the football culture.
Yeah.
That
Right.
you can do whatever you want and get away with it. If he hears anything about like the one guy that did, I think there was one guy that was like being investigated for hitting his girlfriend that was on the Panthers. Out. Just being
Wow.
investigated. Out.
Huh. Well, I'm interested to see how this affects Ower then.
I doubt
because-
he'll make it to next season.
Well, he turned himself in. So to finally get to what actually happened, again, Michael Oher was the subject of The Blind Side and now plays for the Carolina Panthers. Apparently, he was in Nashville around April 14th, and on that day, an Uber driver claims that Michael Oher assaulted the Uber driver, but the Uber driver admitted himself that he put his hands on Michael Oher's face, and then Michael Oher pushed him away. Apparently, it started because Michael Oher was supposed to be following an associate of his in this Uber, and the Uber driver said he knew a quicker way to get there, so just let him take the lead. And apparently Michael Oher thought he was just trying to swindle him out of money or something like that, so he kept telling him to pull over. He wanted to get a new Uber. The Uber driver finally pulled over only because some of the passengers needed to use the restroom, so they pulled over to a gas station. The Uber driver says that he got out to open the door for the females who needed to use the restroom, and at that point Michael Oher got out and started like screaming at him. So the Uber driver put his hands on Michael Oher's face, and then Michael Oher pushed him. That was the extent of the assault.
He might be okay then.
Yeah,
And
also, like, when you tell your driver you want to get out, they should let you out.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why anyone in their right mind would touch an NFL player's face. Especially Michael Oher, who I'm pretty sure is like a linebacker. I can't imagine
he's on the front line.
Yeah, I can't imagine he weighs less than 250 pounds.
I don't know if he's defense or offense.
He is massive. So, we only have one side of the story so far. Michael Oher did turn himself in, so he's not being combative. He's trying to play by the rules, play ball, if you will.
Yeah.
But
can't have Mama Sandra mad at him.
Yeah, really. Plus old Taco Bell dad.
I never actually saw The Blind Side.
It's pretty good.
It is really it's a good movie.
I like football and I like it.
I don't know, it's pretty run of the mill in terms of visuals and stuff like that, but the story itself is pretty solid.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Wasn't it from the person who directed Remember the Titans?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I love Remember the
It's very
Titans.
similar in tone and stuff like that.
Tanner, are you speaking into the correct part of the microphone?
I don't know. The microphone is...
Oh, now you are.
Okay. Hold on, let me move this. There we go. Perfect.
Let's see. John Lee Hancock was the director. Let's find out what else he is. Saving Mr. Banks, which is a really good movie.
Oh, Saving Mr. Banks was actually good.
That's I cried like a baby at Saving Mr. Banks.
Really?
Yeah.
I was with a bunch of old people, and they were the worst. They
Oh,
were,
really?
Like the worst freaking audience to see a movie with.
I've never even seen Mr. Poppins and Saving Mr. Banks. Wait, did I say Mr.
You
Poppins?
said Mr. Poppins.
Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah, that's another timely line.
Mr. Poppins.
But yeah, I've never seen Mary Poppins and Saving Mr. Banks.
I've never seen Mr. I almost called it Mr. Poppins too. I've never seen Mary Poppins either, but I did like Saving Mr. Banks. Except the old people that were in my theater who wouldn't shut up about every. I feel like once you're that age, you just don't care, and you're just like, I'm gonna say whatever I want.
You've earned the right,
Yeah.
or at least you feel that way. All of us youngins don't agree. But anyway, it was not the same director from Remember the Titans.
Gotcha.
But so he turned himself in. We only know of the Uber driver's story, which I'm not. I always want to think that people wouldn't make something like that up. But how out of your mind do you have to be to willingly touch an NFL player's face who you already know is mad at you?
Maybe he thought he could get more money out of him.
Maybe so. And like that's what I'm getting at is that this feels like, if it's not an outright lie, it feels like a way to just get a quick settlement or something like that. Like you get an NFL driver or player jump in your car.
NFL drivers are more expensive than Uber drivers.
Yeah, that's probably a little bit more prestigious than Uber. But like Tanner said, I mean, if you're an Uber driver and you have a passenger requesting to get out, let them out.
I want to see Downtown Abbey.
Downtown Abbey?
Yeah, top right.
I've never
Thanks
watched.
for the screen we can't cut to, Cameron.
You're welcome.
Why do you want to see that? Thank you, Cameron.
Yeah, you should probably move on. Don't wait for me to
Sydney
come up with
closed
something.
out of every tab.
No, I was trying to. Yeah, that was,
Please remove all visuals from
that was my goal there. So Michael
Cameron,
Ower.
what's the last football movie you saw?
It might be The Blind Side, and I did not like it.
Oh, you like it?
I don't know if there's ever been a football movie I liked.
Movie.
Oh.
Ah.
I don't know if there's been anything football related I've liked.
You didn't like Remember the Titans?
No.
I'm not a big sports guy. I'm not a big football guy. I hate football. I hate a lot of the culture surrounding a lot of organized sports.
Because you know what? Anytime there's like some sort of dramatic like football movie or whatever, like the main thing it comes to is like they're having some sort of issue or problem, and it's like real stressful
And it's solved by playing the game.
Right. And then it's just like, if I were like, I think in my head like, if it's so bad, just quit playing. Like, just don't play
Read
this.
a book.
Like, just get rid of football.
Yeah.
I think it's timely again to bring up Hemingway had CTE and shot himself.
Yep. So football players, that's the future you got coming to you. At least, did Hemingway make any money before he died off of his works?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
he was a very prolific author while he was alive.
Okay, good deal. I always hate to hear that when artists never make any money
Yeah.
until they die.
There was some. Never mind. It was gonna be a tangent because I don't think it's Hemingway. Somebody else had a stalker, but they were in that same type of like late 19th century, early 20th century famous writer.
Yeah.
And
F. Scott Fitzgerald?
no, it wasn't him. Fellas, I don't know the name. I apologize. I don't read books.
Well, before we take our second break, let's talk about this pineapple. Tanner, you posted the story. It's pretty hilarious.
I just like it. So in some
Oh, that one. Okay.
yeah, in some art gallery somewhere, someone left a pineapple on the floor, and the next day they found that it was in a glass case as a piece of art.
We can agree that the majority of abstract expressionism is BS, right?
Yeah, like this.
Okay.
This just goes to back up pretty much everyone's point that modern art these days is just absolutely ridiculous.
In this picture, look at the other things he's competing with.
You got like a car engine type thing.
Yeah, so no wonder there was a freaking pineapple, and they're like, oh my god. It symbolizes the way we just screwed over the Hawaiian Aborigines.
I really
Nice, Tanner.
I wish that we could have. I'm sure they have it, but I wish that we could see the security footage of whoever sees the pineapple and is like, "Oh, what happened to that glass? Let me go get that glass." Because like this dude got it as a prank, and he didn't even leave it at the art display as a prank. He did it for something else, but he left it there because of the original prank he wanted to play didn't work out. So someone had to have gotten this whole glass display and adjusted this pineapple so that it's kind of like smushed down onto the glass, which is supposed to be the artistic expression of it somehow. But yeah, it just goes to show what everyone has been saying for a decade now, that modern art, quote unquote, is absolutely ridiculous.
And some of these, like the festival director said, we really have no idea who did it. It was very clear to us it was a prank, but we have decided to leave it there because it's in keeping with the playful spirit of the festival. You don't want to admit you screwed up.
Exactly.
You don't want to admit you put a piece of fruit someone bought for $3.
Is Ja Rule doing art now?
Cheesecake Oreo.
Ooh,
I don't like cheesecake.
Tyler.
I know. It's
All
about
right.
this or the art.
Tyler,
It's about
come on, man.
everything.
What's your $500,000 pitch for Oreos, man?
Yeah, I want to go around. I've already got mine, and I've already tweeted at
Pizza
Oreo,
sauce Oreos.
so you guys can't steal my
Spaghetti
ideas.
Oreos.
Because I've got some pretty groundbreaking ones here.
Double stuff chocolate cookies and cream Oreos. So we're taking what is an Oreo and then putting it inside an Oreo.
It's like as above, so below.
Yes.
Like
we go to hell in France.
well, it's like the concept that possibly within every atom is a whole new universe.
I got one. Venison Oreos.
There's actually an interesting new theory
Oreos.
as to how the universe came to be. Is that
Oreos.
pretty much there's like a starting point or an infinitely dense star that then is put into a black hole, and then since it's condensed so far into a black hole, it actually causes a big bang on the other side of the black hole, and that creates a new universe.
I buy it.
So we could call these black hole Oreos.
Oh,
because
nice.
it
I like
is
that.
an
Yeah.
Oreo contained within an Oreo.
I like
with
that.
chocolate.
So to submit your idea, you just tweet to Oreos.
You tweet using the hashtag #MyOreoCreation and hashtag contest. And you can also text to the number, I believe it's 59526. I like I said, I went ahead and covered my bases so that whenever I share my ideas here, no one can steal them. So I'm pretty happy with my suggestions. It's 59526. So text that number for
We
your
also
Oreo
have a call-in
suggestions.
number.
Very true. You can find that during the break.
One of our great listeners want to call in.
Yeah, and by great listeners, we don't mean you, Jeremy Bivens, meanie.
I worked very hard on that commercial, Jeremy. Okay.
Jeremy's just not with the times. He doesn't understand the edit, the quick cuts.
Jeremy's a Renaissance man, but he's not a humble one.
And
He's kind of a D-bag about it.
That's what Renaissance men are.
In Jeremy's defense, I will say
Oh.
that though that commercial was art, it was lazy art, and I don't think that there was a lot of direction behind it.
If you would put a pineapple on that screen instead of Tyler.
You damn right it was art, 'cause I didn't get paid for that.
No,
That was free
See, that commercial-
art for you.
That commercial wasn't even a pineapple set on a table; it was a grape dropped on the floor.
Well, also,
Tyler's the negative one.
you got to keep in mind that Tyler has absolutely zero training in any of that stuff. He
I
never,
am a gorilla.
never went to
I'm a
film
dumb
school
gorilla.
like anyone else in the room.
You're lucky I didn't break the computer and try to eat it.
It also has limited editing technology, so I applaud any initiative taken here.
If I said that was iMovie, would you be impressed?
No.
You're being a gosh dang goodness right now.
So, Cameron, you've already given us such gems as venison and
Yeah, I would definitely.
Pizza sauce.
I would
Yeah,
say,
pizza
yeah.
sauce.
I'd say venison Oreos, water Oreos. There's just a clear, flavorless paste in the middle. And I'd say Eucerin lotion Oreos.
all right. Tanner, you have any suggestions?
Oh, mayonnaise
off the cuff?
Oreos.
Oh, mayonnaise water Oreos.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want Cheerwine Oreos. I want that partnership to happen.
That's pretty good.
not
I
bad.
want Rolo Oreos, like team up with
Ooh.
Rolo.
So, like caramel Oreos?
Yeah. Veal Oreos.
Yeah.
Get some ham and broccoli casserole Oreos.
Oh, yeah.
And
Broccoli
top-
cheddar ale.
Yeah, and top it all off with some Jack Daniels Oreos.
You know, that I was just thinking red wine Oreos might not be terrible. Get some dark chocolate cookies with red wine in there.
Do they do like Passover Jewish themed Oreos where they have like Stars of David on them?
What about white chocolate Oreos?
I want Mazel Tov.
I think they have
Mazel
white
Tov, there
chocolate.
it is. Mazel Oreos.
That's great. I want to say that they do have like kosher Oreos and stuff like
Are
that, like
Jewish
specially
Oreos
made.
I wasn't even asking about kosher. I was just asking if they have one with Stars of David on them. They can
Well,
be.
if they don't,
They can be bootleg for all I care.
that's a $500,000 idea right there. But let me give you guys my ideas. Like I said, no one jump on these. Pretty happy with them.
One's asking, Sydney.
We got horchata Oreos.
What is that?
You don't know
don't
cinnamon milk Mexican drink horchata? You're missing out. Then we got Neapolitan Oreos, regular Oreos, except one cookie is strawberry.
Oh, it's not even each one is 3 different flavors.
No.
See, I
I'll take that one.
Yeah, that one's cool. I like that. Kudos.
And then peaches and cream, where you have peach flavored cookies.
When I said I'll take that one, I meant I'm going to take that and make it so each one is Neapolitan.
Oh, huh. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different idea.
2/3 of the work is already done for you. You already got the chocolate.
Compromise here.
You already got the chocolate and the vanilla. I don't think Oreo wants to reinvent the wheel here.
They said we're good to go. They heard the whole thing. They're listening.
Well, then it's going to be my $500,000.
I will Oreo fight you for it.
How do we orchestrate that?
We have an Oreo eating contest. Do we have to do this now?
Well, we have to.
I don't like Oreos.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to win then.
Yeah, you definitely would.
You can have a stand-in.
Oh, okay. I'll have to think about this.
Tanner looks like he eats stuff.
I do.
Tanner definitely eats stuff. I just don't know.
In high school, back in high school, like junior year and senior year, we'd like get beer, Oreos, and pizza, and just like
beer Oreos. I didn't know they had that flavor.
They should. Actually, that's my new pitch. We get beer and Oreos and pizza, and just like watch movies and play video games and have a good time.
As opposed to like any kind of lemon flavored cracker. Or cookie, rather. Oreos are definitely my least favorite cookie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I think Oreos are kind of middle of the road.
Do you prefer Nilla wafers?
I like Nilla wafers.
I'd prefer Nilla wafers over Oreos, yeah.
I prefer Pepperidge Farm.
Actually, let me say this at least right off the bat. Double stuff should be the generic Oreo.
I agree, you fat American.
Yeah. No, I agree. If you're going to have Oreo, at least go all out with the double stuff.
Yeah.
Have you seen they do triple stuff now?
I'm not surprised.
No, don't do that. That's too
How long to like get around to quadruple, quintuple? Why don't they just have just Oreo cream by now?
In a spray can.
Yeah, like Ready Whip.
And then you put it in between vanilla wafers the way it's meant to be.
Yeah. And you know what? That's my new pitch for a new $500,000 Oreo. Screw it, just eat it, you fatty.
They already have vanilla wafer Oreos because they have the white instead of the dark cookies. They have the white cookies.
Yeah, true.
Well, it was weird when they did Reese's Cup Oreos because it's like they already do peanut butter.
They're not
Oreos.
that great.
Well, do you guys know about Hydrox?
Hydra.
Hydrox. So
Hydroxycut.
Bill knows Hydrox. Apparently, Hydrox were the precursor to Oreo, right? Yeah, and then Oreo kind of stole the idea and gave them chocolate cookies. Oh no, Hydrox even has chocolate. Oh wow.
The original Oreo was a Hydrox.
Okay, yeah, so Bill's saying the original Oreo was a Hydrox. I thought that Hydrox at least had vanilla cookies with vanilla cream.
Look at that.
I didn't realize...
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they even had chocolate cookies. Wow.
Hold on, I'm getting the image up in just a second.
They sound like... Hydrox sounds like an ancient evil being.
Doritos Locos Oreos.
Like the exact same thing.
Apparently, Hydrox derived its name from the atoms that make up the water molecule, hydrogen and oxygen.
Oh, so they already did the water flavor.
Oh, get this. And that's right, because I do remember that these had like a religious bent to them. In 1908, the creators of the cookie were looking for a name that would convey purity and goodness. So I guess they kind of already beat you to the water.
Jesus cookies
concept.
was already taken.
They do have table water crackers.
I would I'd make a s'mores
that
flavor.
That has the delay effect that the fireworks Oreo has. Same thing.
They already have s'mores Oreos, I'm pretty sure, but I would rename it Oreos S'moreos.
Yeah. Surely they're called S'moreos, right?
My name's not Shirley.
What if they did? Because I'm just thinking of partnerships. What about Kool-Aid Oreos? Have they done that yet? Because if not, it feels like kind of a no-brainer.
I don't know about that.
I'd eat it.
Yeah, I mean,
there's not much I wouldn't eat.
I'm sure there's a market for it, but
you've eaten a what?
I've eaten a fried Oreo.
Okay, that's not that bad.
At the State Fair, it was actually very good. It was that and fried Kool-Aid. The fried Kool-Aid was disgusting. The fried Oreo was actually solid.
I think if you coated an Oreo in Kool-Aid then fried it, that'd be better than having like Kool-Aid flavored.
I think if you
cream.
coated an Oreo in Kool-Aid and then you dipped it in butter and killed yourself, we'd all be better off.
It's coming to a state fair near you.
North Carolina State Fair this October.
So apparently Hydrox debuted in 1908, and then Oreos debuted in 1912. And Oreos were way more popular because they had more marketing going for them.
They'd have weird purity undertones.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to have sex and still eat cookies.
So apparently the Oreo quickly exceeded Hydrox in popularity, which resulted in Hydrox becoming perceived as a knockoff. So that explains it.
Oh, man.
Are they still alive? Is Hydrox still alive?
Yeah, apparently they were reintroduced in 2015 by Leaf Brands.
Hipsters. Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. So this says, compared to Oreos, Hydrox cookies have a tangy, less sweet filling, and a crunchier cookie that gets less soggy in milk.
Nope.
So that's what it has going for it.
I'm not trying to eat oranges.
Yeah, really? Yeah. What do you mean by tangy?
That sounds way worse.
Yeah, I don't.
An Oreo.
Huh.
General Zo's Oreo.
Are you just looking up the last things you've eaten?
No,
Oh no, you're tweeting these as they
Yeah,
come out.
oh, yeah, I am.
Did you tweet pepperoni?
You tweeted
Or pizza
Beal,
sauce?
didn't
Oh,
you?
you want me to tell you the ones I've tweeted? Hold on, let me finish the General So's Oreos tweet. Here we go. All right, these are the ones I've done. I said venison Oreos, water Oreos, empty Oreos, Washington nuclear waste Oreos, Doritos Locos Oreos, Cheetos stuffed chicken Oreos.
Wait, what is it? Cheeto stuffed chicken.
It's like those Burger King.
Yeah, what's your Twitter handle again?
Camboy Smith.
CAMBOISMIF.
Yeah, and then I got real mayonnaise Oreos. Can I say that one above real mayonnaise Oreos?
I think you can.
Yeah, I guess it's not a cuss word. Human semen Oreos, and then most
Wait,
recently,
is that different from the dog one?
yeah,
It's more tangy flavor.
yeah, and then General So's Oreos. Okay, maybe I should say specifically human semen from someone who smokes a lot of cigarettes Oreos.
You didn't pronounce that.
Cigarette Oreos. There we go.
You didn't pronounce that right.
What?
Cigarette.
Cigarette.
There you go.
Progress.
All right, but before we waste too much time and have to go into another break,
Before we waste too much time, let's go back in time and stop.
if only we could. Let's wait to talk about Hellboy, and let's instead talk about the two recent deaths that have affected people. First of all, Big Black Boykin, Christopher Boykin. He passed away yesterday, April 9th, or May 9th. Second time in a week I've confused April for May.
He's got a funny last name.
Boykin.
Boykin.
So from Robin Big fame, everyone who watched Robin Big surely remembers Big Black.
Oh yeah.
He passed away. They haven't released, at least the last time I looked it up, they haven't released the cause of death. He was 45 years old.
I'm going to guess either heart disease or diabetes.
Yeah, I mean, very clearly he was an abnormally large man. So I wouldn't be surprised to learn that it was something heart-related. Hopefully it was nothing violent. I mean, I think it goes without saying it was unexpected. But, hopefully hopefully he didn't suffer too much. Details, still pretty much in the air. But that was quite shocking. I wouldn't have predicted that Big Black would pass away so soon. But granted, I haven't really thought about Big Black in a few years. Has anyone, Tanner? You seemed pretty passionate. Have you kept up with what he's been doing?
No, it's just back in middle school, was a huge fan of Robin Big. We watched it all the time. Like I watched episodes over and over. And so yeah, this sucks.
And apparently, I was just looking into this last night. Apparently, they had a falling out, which is what led to Fantasy Factory. Like a whole spinoff show. But then
in the show, I remember they played it off that Big's girlfriend was pregnant.
Yeah.
And that was why he was leaving.
Yeah, and then apparently they made up later on, which is when Big Black started showing up on Fantasy Factory. So the falling out happened because Rob was starting to become, famous from other stuff, and he didn't want to be known from the guy from Robin Big, and Big Black didn't want to be known as a sidekick. So yeah, your typical ego sort of falling out. Who knows what joys they could have provided?
The only thing I can add is I got to work with a writer from Ridiculousness.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Huh. Doing what? Comedy?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
He's a dead crow. Ryan
sweet.
Connor.
Okay, interesting.
That's all I've got.
And they don't still make Fantasy Factory, do they?
No.
I think it's been done for a while.
Okay, yeah. And are they still doing Ridiculousness?
Yeah.
Because I know that Big Black has showed up at least once on there.
Yeah, they're still doing that.
Okay, interesting. I wonder what the last time Big Black was on there. I wonder when the last time he made any sort of public appearance was.
Excuse me.
Crab dip double stuffed Oreos. Here's a new one.
You guys know why I just yawned? I was very tired, up all night, finishing that promo.
The
The one
Jeremy,
that's garbage.
You mean
Jeremy
that
just
grape
had to
on the
destroy.
Yeah, that grape on the floor. Cameron, you're just so busy editing everyone else's. I was going to ask you to do it, but I know you're very, very busy. Very busy boy. Good editor.
Thanks.
Yeah, so it looks like his last thing was in a Bob Wise? No. Okay, I was about to say that's Big Ange. I guess his last appearance was on Ridiculousness. But another death, although more I don't want to say appropriate, but more expected, I guess, was Stanley Weston, excuse me. Stanley Weston, who was the creator of G.I. Joe and Thundercats.
As I saw someone point out, he was basically the father of the action figure. That was his baby.
So apparently, yeah, he realized the success of Barbies in the 60s. So in 1963, he sold the concept to Hasbro that would later become G.I. Joe. And then also Thundercats started off as action figures.
Hmm.
Did you guys know that?
Nope.
No, but it makes sense. I mean, Transformers, and after that, no one ever looked back.
Yeah, yeah. I would have figured though that with like a mythology as deep as Thundercats has, like it's always just. I wonder what the writing room was like when they just had all these action figures lined up on a wall. And like, yeah, let's make sense of this.
Someone gave me a Transformers action figure when I was young, and I could not make it transform.
I know
Same
that
here.
that was
They
one
were
thing.
hard.
They
were
the clunkiness of trying to make this thing back into a truck.
Yeah, yeah. And
You
like
could
if
do it once,
and then you forgot it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like you'd have friends come over and be like, "Oh, dude, can I make this into the robot?" No, can't. You got to leave it alone. Very,
It's
very
a truck
serious.
forever.
You know what? We were talking about Oreo partnerships. I want to see Transformers and Thomas the Tank Engine partner up, and those would be some cool toys.
Have Transformers ever turned into trains?
One would
No,
they
I don't
turned
think
into
so.
dinosaurs, so they better turn into second trains.
Yeah, what is up with that? Like this last,
Grimlock,
well, this Transformers movie that the trailers are showing now, they were like apparently there were Transformers on the Earth during like the Crusades.
Oh, okay. Here's what's so stupid about that to me. I actually saw Transformers 2 at a midnight release back in 2009. And the entire revelation in that movie is that Transformers have been on Earth since, like, before Christ. So I don't know why this new movie is painting it like that's a revelation. We've known this since the second movie.
Well,
the Transformers crucified Jesus, right?
yeah, I was about to say the crucifix was actually a Transformer.
Yeah.
That's a cool crossover I want to see.
The little
Crossover?
nails in his hands and feet were also Transformers, the little small Transformers.
So when they said
They were
that,
cute.
what did they? So like why would they become dinosaurs when dinosaurs were around? What made them become cars?
Okay,
When
I
cars were
actually
around.
like, and this, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I do like the original premise. Apparently, this was the original premise when they originally released, and they had a Marvel comic published to tie into the toys. They came to Earth, and they're like, all right, we need to blend in. So we're going to send out a pod to find out what the beings of this planet look like. And the pod just saw cars and trucks and vehicles. Tyler, you're shaking your head. Is this not true?
Cameron's writing hate speech to me. I apologize.
I wrote
Okay.
newness on his paper. It's not a real word.
That
Continue,
sounds right.
Tanner. Continue.
There's a
Oh, no,
pod.
just this pod saw vehicles, and it's like, oh, that's what the beings of this planet look like. And then turned all the Transformers into vehicles.
Oh, it's
Ah.
stupid.
Yeah. I
Wait.
like it, though.
Wait, how did they turn into like anthropomorphic robots?
This is where I don't understand. Well, no, they were anthropomorphic robots.
So they were already basically what people look like.
Yeah,
Yes.
because in every sci-fi make 'em up, everything looks like humans.
Going back to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like even Alien to a certain extent, which is the groundbreaking
Yeah.
sci-fi
Well,
epic.
that one.
It doesn't look like a human, but it looks a lot like Earth creatures.
Yeah, two
Well,
arms,
Well, in
four
fairness,
arms, two
that's
legs.
because of the whole thing where like the alien takes on the traits of the thing it infects.
But had that been established in that first movie?
No, I guess not. But I mean, whatever.
Well, I'm gonna look up so we can talk about it when we get back. Why are Transformers dinosaurs? Because I want to make sense of that, and then also why are they knights?
And is it art?
The groundbreaking questions.
I'll
which drive
actually
to
I'll
answer.
actually say no. I'll say no.
Oh, you'll say no. Is a Michael Bay movie art?
Yeah, it's the one exception. That
Uh,
everything is
maybe
art.
one,
Everything
but-
is art, and everybody is artists except Michael Bay and his movies.
All right, well, it's time for our third and final break, so we'll be back here in about 10 minutes, and we'll wrap up the show with some stuff that we are actually supposed to talk about. So stick around for the next 10 minutes, guys.
Michael Bay is a scientist, and his movies are experiment.
Back from our third and final break. It is May 10th, Prime Nation Live. So I have some news that I'm reluctant to share with everyone. Apparently, my Neapolitan Oreo idea has already been claimed by who was it? Tiffany.
Tiffany Lynn, and she made a freaking graphic and everything.
Yeah, she definitely got me there. And it is my idea, not Tyler's stupid, idiotic Neapolitan cream idea. she capitalized on the strawberry cookie idea as well.
You got me.
But at least I know that I'm not alone in my thinking. Great minds
Oh,
do
the
think alike.
strawberry is the other thing?
The other cookie, yeah.
Oh, that's stupid.
No, I think that's the logical way to do it,
I
Tyler.
think you should fight her.
Cream corn Oreos. There's
Cream
one.
corn.
That's a free one y'all can have.
Not-
Can you
not
what
terrible.
corn on the cuck?
Before we get on this
Not
again,
even an Oreo thing. That's just like Tyler's like, how can I work cuck into this?
I almost wanted to say it with a Jew accent earlier.
Oh God, we need a counter. We should have a counter up on the screen of every
For
time.
cucks or Jews?
No, every time Tyler fits the word cuck in. We yeah, I know. We
I have a hard
tick
time
the
fitting
counter.
cuck in, but
Cuck off.
So Tanner,
Speaking of ducks,
oh,
I started.
whoa!
I
I
started-
learned a little bit about Tanner today.
Yo, okay, look. So when I was a kid, my family had a vegetable garden.
Yo, hold on. Let me tell you about my garden.
yeah, I'm not
hold up.
sure. What are you going to connect these dots to the cuck reference?
Yes,
Okay.
somehow.
Let's settle in.
All right. You might want to unstrap your seatbelts. It's going nowhere. But what is going somewhere is I started a little tiny vegetable garden. You can see here. Got this thing here. That's a nice little coffee table right underneath it, so it can get some sunlight. And I planted 4 bean seeds and some cucumber seeds.
Any sensu beans?
No. And the beans and cukes have finally started sprouting. Here's some close-ups of the beans.
Man.
And here's some close-ups of the cucumbers.
This looks like a bunch of friggin' dirt to me.
Mhm. But
That's,
I'm gonna come up with a nice graphic for this, and I'm gonna come back next week with an update, and it's gonna be the sickest garden you've ever
Let me
seen.
know when you start growing weed.
I don't doubt it.
Mm.
You need to call this segment groundbreaking gardening. You guys get it?
I'm not calling it that.
Oh,
Well,
ground,
all right.
groundhog.
You have to listen.
When I make $500,000 from Oreo, you'll be wishing you listened to my suggestions.
That's all us holding our breaths.
Me too. So finally, let's get around to some things that we actually meant to talk about. So Hellboy is being rebooted. Not no more Ron Perlman, no more Guillermo del Toro.
Ugh.
Instead, what was the you wish it
I-
was,
I-
or you
those are
tired of
good
those
movies.
guys? Oh yeah. So
I don't think they're very good.
They're not good, but I love them for some reason.
Well,
I don't know what it
We
is.
talked about this a little before the show started. Ron Perlman is amazing casting.
Yes.
He is freaking great in that role. So it's weird that they're hyping up this reboot with the intention of saying, like, yeah, and we're totally not getting Ron Perlman guys, even though people liked him.
I like the Abraham guy too.
yeah, that was Andy Serkis, I think, who played him.
Or do they have
Oh, wait,
people
you
in
talking
mind?
about the squid guy?
He's not a squid. He's Fishman.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not it's the other, not motion capture. It's the costume guy.
Moshe Kasher.
I forget. It's not Andy Serkis.
I used to
though.
confuse him with Arch Fear.
It is not Andy freaking Gardening
Milonakis.
Circus.
Andy Gardening Circus?
I don't know. Trying to tie it all together. I think I'm doing a good job.
Oh yeah, you left out that cuck connection.
We don't need a
Cuck
cuck connection.
connection.
I am the cuck.
Can I get some double C batteries?
So let's see. Doug Jones, you're
Doug
right.
Jones,
Yep.
yeah.
Abe
He's
Sapien.
like the guy who dresses up. Like Andy Serkis does motion capture. Doug Jones dresses in full-on costume.
Think about that Stranger Things guy.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
David Harbour is going to be playing Hellboy, which I'm excited about.
He
I,
looks like a fugly little man.
I don't disagree that Ron Perlman was great in the Guillermo del Toro iteration of it, but I think that, I don't know, I just feel like based on like body size and everything like that, I think David Harbour is going to be more proportionate.
Let's get Batista in there.
Dude,
I
wonder if
would be
Batista
surprised.
would be Hellboy.
He's not a good actor.
Okay.
We've
I would-
been over this.
I would be surprised if they fit in some sort of role for him. God, this flying bug. So annoying. But
It's
anyway.
not a fly, though. It is not a fly.
No, not a fly, just a flying bug.
Dang old Gnat, I think.
Yeah, sounds about right. So, and also directing is going to be, where is it? I just had it. He directed The Descent. Neil Marshall directed
Oh,
The Descent, and then also
on
has
Game of Thrones, right?
directed a few
Yeah.
Game of Thrones episodes as well.
No, well.
Yeah. I mean, this could be cool. I do like David Harbour a lot. So I don't know. It sounds cool.
Apparently, the working title is Hellboy: Rise of the Blood Queen. Are any of you guys familiar with the comics?
Never read
No.
it.
Okay, yeah.
No.
Yeah, me either. But yeah, from like all the art that I've seen of it, I feel like David Harbour is going to be. Ron Perlman was great, mentality wise and everything like that, and the voice and the gruffness.
And
But-
the size.
Well, but now I feel like every iteration I've seen of Hellboy, he's more not like slender, but he's kind of lanky, whereas Ron Perlman is more stocky.
Yeah, he's more muscular. Ron
Yeah.
Perlman's more muscular than Hellboy possibly should be. And the
Yeah.
shoulders are hunched, but I think a lot of that has to do with the animation style.
Yeah. But so I'm excited about this. It is weird because Ron Perlman and Guillermo del Toro are both on board for a Hellboy remake or a sequel rather.
In in fairness, Guillermo del Toro is on a million projects. That's why like none of them get made because he says he's committed to so freaking many. Is Pacific Rim 2 still happening?
Oh yeah, that's he's just producing that. He's not directing it.
Okay, remember when he was going to direct The Hobbit?
No.
He was going to direct The Hobbit. Do you remember when he was going to direct Justice League Dark?
No.
I heard a rumbling about that.
He's committed to all of these things before, and there was some test footage from the Justice League Dark thing that was released.
What would the cast be for that? Or not the cast, the characters, yeah.
It was going to be John Constantine. They have animation tests for Swamp Thing, along with like Satana and Etrigan. But again, he's just committed to so many projects that I don't blame them for saying like, look, we want to do a Hellboy thing. Either do it or don't. Don't give us this like halfway.
Well, apparently the only issue, because I know like whenever he was tweeting about it, Guillermo del Toro was tweeting about it at the end of last year. So I think that he would have made it a priority gladly. But apparently the issue was that Guillermo del Toro wanted a bigger budget. He said he wanted a bigger canvas to paint on, so he wanted to sort of expand the Hellboy universe. Because both of the other movies, I've only seen bits and pieces of the second one, but they do feel kind of more contained. Like they travel a lot, but they're in a relatively small world.
The first one, it says, has an estimated budget of $66 million.
Okay, yeah. And I mean, any kind of blockbuster like that these days, I mean, Guardians 2 had a $200 million production budget. So, he's probably looking for something more along the lines of that. I'm seeing, though, he's only...
It's also worth mentioning how this was revealed. It was not like an official press release from the studio. It was Mike Mignola, the creator, saying that this is happening.
And this is on the heels of the Hellboy whiskey
Yeah.
that's coming out.
Yeah, we did talk about that. The Hellwater, I think they're calling it. Or Firewater, maybe. Which is, again, like a fireball type,
That I don't think Hellboy would drink.
Exactly, yeah. It's interesting stuff, just like maybe that would have been fitting for Logan to have by his bedside. But, so yeah, Pacific Rim Uprising, he has a story credit on and he's producing, but that's being directed by IMDb. Oh, Stephen S. DeKnight. Okay, interesting. Who,
Wait, what?
Yeah, Stephen S. DeKnight, known for his work on Spartacus, but yeah, Daredevil Season 1.
Wait, what's he doing now?
Directing Pacific Rim 2,
Goofy.
Uprising.
Huh. That's
And,
good. I think that's actually solid.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of the first Pacific Rim. It's a fun movie. It's not, it's no Dark Knight or anything like that, but it's a fun popcorn movie.
Man, that first Pacific Rim actually kind of bums me out because it should be way better than it is.
Think so?
Yeah.
What do you mean popcorn movie?
Like it's it's fun. You go in.
Excuse me, popcorn film.
Because you just had an advertisement for Orville Redenbacher on your screen.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Ooh.
Creepy stuff.
Ooh, government.
Maybe it just sort of supplanted a little subconscious thing in my mind. Interesting. But yeah, I just mean like it's a fun movie to pass the time. It's not really a thinker, but it's got lots of fun action sequences.
But is it art and is it a film?
Yeah, is it a film if you eat while watching it?
I have no problem calling it art because someone did make it with direction. They have an end point where we know what the feelings they're trying to evoke are.
Okay, going back to the art thing, Tyler brought over his break. Tyler, can you describe the piece of art you saw in the North Carolina Museum that you hate the most?
I think it was like a giant canvas, probably 6 feet tall, 6 feet wide, something like that. And there's a single dot in the middle of it. North Carolina Museum of Art in Raleigh.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah.
My favorite two-dimensional art I've ever seen in a museum is in the Smithsonian, one of those museums. I can't remember because it was when I was in 10th grade. But there was a display. It was a black canvas and in white, almost like plain Times New Roman text. It had the word nothing and a definition. And then it was like a paragraph-long definition describing what nothing means, but as it was trying to describe it, the whole entire paragraph like negated itself and meant nothing. That's my
cool.
favorite thing I've ever seen.
So deep.
So deep. No, it's kind of like
Who is the artist?
anti-comedy and anti-art together at once.
Yeah.
Is anti-art still art?
Yes, it is. I'd say anti-comedy is still comedy.
Yeah.
Depends on who you
Anti-art
ask.
is still art. Depends on who you ask, I guess. If you're asking, like, a regular person or, like, a person who knows stuff, then they'd probably agree with me. But if you ask, like a mentally disabled war veteran or something, they might say what you say.
God.
You don't know which side I'm on. You don't know. I haven't said.
The tension is palpable, folks. So let's go ahead and get on to our next topic. Although, to wrap up, again, I'm extremely excited by the prospect of Hellboy being rebooted. Both of those first two movies were very fun. They're watchable, even if they're not necessarily, like I said, thinkers or, along the lines of Guardians or... we do have to start specifying because... Do you guys know that Russian Guardians movie?
Yeah.
With Bear Man and all that stuff? Oh, man, you got to watch the trailer if you haven't seen it. It's ridiculous.
There's a Bear Man?
Yeah, there's a Bear Man. There's...
Bear Pig.
Do you know what other supernatural beings are in that movie,
No,
Tanner?
I don't remember.
Yeah, that's the only one that stood out. But yeah, it's obviously Russia's response to, like, the Avengers. They just have this, like, superhero team, but it's ridiculously action-packed.
Is Charlie coming in today?
No, it doesn't
No,
look like
it's
it.
not. He still hasn't even opened my Snapchat.
I hope that he's alive.
Who got him drugged?
I do genuinely hope he's alive and just hungover or something like that. But yeah, it's worth noting that Charlie's going to be moving, I guess at the end of this week, something like that. So this would have been the last time he was on the show.
So you'll have to tune in
Sorry,
last week.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm just on the filmography for the girl in Hellboy. And I was just surprised to find out she played Kris Jenner in American Crime Story, the OJ story.
Interesting. Is that, what's her name? She's from Armageddon, right? She's
Is she?
Aerosmith's
I'm
daughter.
thinking of Eve Tyler, or Liv Tyler.
Liv Tyler, yeah. Who is it?
Oh, this lady?
Yeah.
Her name is Selma Blair.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
In case anyone's wondering why we're flailing our arms about, there's a ghost in here. And he's been messing with us all day. So if you see us doing this, we're like, get out of here. Not now. Wait
Silly
until...
ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a much more fun explanation. The truth is, we really just should have kept that spider around so we could have gotten all these...
There was a spider in here?
Yeah, you remember I smushed it last week with the Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, I
hats.
remember that.
I've been haunted by that spider ever since. Maybe that's what this spirit is. The ghost of the spider. So, Wisdom Tree games. Tanner, I have no connection to this. I didn't even know they existed. Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, this is just, okay, so Wisdom Tree was a publisher back in the day that published very religious video games, and they were all knockoffs. They were all knockoffs of like famous games. The one I'm about to pull up, I forget exactly which, but it looks like to me a Super Mario Brothers 2 ripoff. And there is what I find a hilarious ripoff of Doom, but you're on Noah's Ark.
It's called Salvation.
Yeah, I saw that was the most interesting one. Was what do they call it? Super 3D Noah's Ark or something like that.
So I've got it on screen right now.
And I guess
This is a straight up Doom ripoff with
It's
your
like-
slingshot of these animals. Also,
because
there's
that's
way
what Noah
more-
did was
yeah.
kill all the animals.
Also, there's way more than 2 of every animal on this ark.
Oh, no, they're not dead. They're sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's knocking
There's
them out
these.
so
Well,
he can
apparently-
drag them onto the boat.
Apparently, in the story of Noah, he brought on like 7 pairs of each animal.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Was
he-
to make sure?
Some
Was
of
he
them died.
keen on diversification of
Just make sure he
genes?
had enough. Because I mean, if one of them died,
True.
that's it.
It'd be pretty short-sighted to only have one pair of each. Was Noah a vegan? Did he eat any
I have
of those
no idea.
animals? I don't think veganism even existed in
Yeah,
those
I
Yeah,
days.
it is short-sighted for just to create one pair of each god.
Yeah, work on those instructions, man.
Adam and Steve.
But I mean, so they published all these games like back in the 80s and 90s, and it's just kind of a joke. But now these games are available to buy on Steam.
And you can get them all for $8.
Yeah, and you can get that one, that Super 3D Noah's Ark. That's what it's called. For $5, and I'm tempted to get it.
So for 13 measly dollars, you can have the entire lineup of Wisdom Tree games and just reinforce your faith the way that God intended.
I mean, you say that, and obviously it's a joke, but as someone who loves like the history of this kind of stuff or the history of gaming because it's so young, this is awesome for me that they're putting this out. Because I believe every game should be available. It kills me that there are games that aren't because of.
What about that E.T. game? Are there any existing?
There's copies of it. They dug up that famous landfill and did find copies.
Oh,
so that
really?
story's
Yeah,
true.
that's
Okay.
true.
But it's not like available for easy like you'd have to download an emulator.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the Atari collection for PS4, and it's not on there, which I think is a crime. I would love to just have that available at any given moment, because I mean that's sort of actually this. I love that Wisdom Tree got this on Steam when there's actual like big games that are not widely available that pisses people off. Unfortunately, a lot of them aren't coming to my head right now. I know a while ago System Shock 2 was the big one, because that's considered one of the best games of all time, but it was like you could not find a copy. and it was not online.
Cameron, pitch me a video game right now.
Okay, so it's like a dog, and he's got like a tail made out of metal and electricity, and he can travel to space, and it's like a big old open world Grand Theft Auto, but you can go everywhere on the planet. You can even leave the planet and go to other planets. You can fly on a spaceship, and it's online, and everyone's
A dog with a...
yeah. Everyone, you can customize your character. I customized a dog man.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, it has cargo pants.
And that game is not widely available online, which is
That would
insane.
be a good game.
What's the name?
Space Dogs.
I believe that's probably taken.
It actually, you
Is that
know,
with a Z?
Space Dogs was the name of like a script I was working on.
Cameron has
It
a
was
bald
Space
fist on the
Dog,
table.
my first ever sci-fi script. Hello, Dan. And I was working. I think I started that thing like 2 years ago, and then like in the past year, I saw that they're making an animated movie called Space
Oh,
Dogs.
they already made it in 2010. It
Yeah.
was a Russian CG animated movie, which I'll bring up the poster.
Thanks so
Yeah,
much.
from 2010. They already made Space Dogs.
Oh, it
Yeah,
doesn't look too
it's
bad.
the worst thing in the world.
It just goes to show those Russians really are spying on us. They took old Cam Boy's idea.
Yeah.
Well, so far, Cam's idea has been stolen. Sydney's idea has been stolen.
True.
I have good
Was
ideas.
Tiffany Lynn a Russian?
No, I think Tiffany Lynn's from Alabama.
That's what I would guess too. Yeah. We don't mean to defame you though, old Tiffany Lynn.
Benadryl Oreos.
Hey,
there
Charlie
you go.
Dawson sent me a message. That must mean he's alive. Let's see what he says.
Hey, sorry, man.
Holy S word! I just woke up. I'm so sorry, man. I guess I slept through my alarm. I feel terrible, dog.
DAWG.
No, DOG.
DOG. Yeah. Well, I'll reply to
Yeah,
him
so you know he means it.
whenever we end the show here in 10 minutes or
We're
so.
never having him on again.
Yep. You hear that, Charlie? You're fired.
You're fired, Charlie.
That's precedent.
Ah, man. Well, that's too bad. I know he was planning to do another $4 food groups for us. So maybe he can just start sending us video clips from
Yeah.
New York or something like
Send me food in the mail.
that.
I'll eat it.
So that is, I guess that's the last sentiment that we'll get from Charlie Dawson, unless hopefully he will.
Oh, have him call in.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's do that.
We've got 10 minutes to make this happen.
Sounds good. While I send him that message, you guys want to talk about Fruit Ninja, the series?
No.
Yeah. I mean, I just.
Too
I'd rather have
sensitive.
my arms chopped off, but Tanner, what you got?
No, I mean, I just is this the adaptation we've been waiting for?
Is this the adaptation we wanted? No.
No,
Is
but
this
it's
the
one-
adaptation we needed? No.
Also, no.
Yeah. So yeah, for those who don't know, the hit iPhone game Fruit Ninja is getting adapted into a YouTube series, and the trailer's out. And did anyone bother watching?
No,
I
not.
did. It's awful. It looks really, really bad.
looks like
That
Castle
looks good from
Crashers.
that picture you're putting up.
I mean, it's already hard enough to adapt a video game into a series. Nevertheless, a
Phone app.
mobile
Oh,
app.
It's gonna be on YouTube Red.
How was the Angry Birds movie?
Well, at least Angry Birds had a narrative within the game. You know,
Yeah,
the
'cause
pigs
here,
were.
I've gotta, what narrative can you get from this screen? This is
Right,
from the
yeah,
game.
true.
YouTube Red makes more sense than actually anything else.
That I'll give you. Like that's the place to put it. You getting a number?
Getting the number.
Gotcha. But I mean, how much pandering can you do to these kids?
Not enough.
About that much. Oh, there's a Fruit Ninja game in an arcade in the mall.
I think that guy in the background. Look at it later, and I'm like, what does any of this mean?
Yeah, when you're writing half asleep, it probably doesn't make any more sense than your actual dream itself
Yeah.
does.
And my mom says that my parents sleep in separate beds when my dad snores.
Okay, yeah.
My dad has a CPAP, so he should be getting all sorts of
Yeah, like a
air shoved
machine in
into
there,
his
yeah.
nose, but I guess it's not working
Oh,
correctly.
wow, huh. Interesting.
Oh, here's a little fun one here.
Ooh, as opposed to these silly, non-fun ones.
Yeah. People with erectile dysfunction are blank times as likely to suffer from sleep apnea.
Ooh,
Whoa.
my expertise.
2.
4.
3.
Cameron is correct. People with erectile dysfunction are twice as likely
That's
to
right.
suffer from sleep apnea. Do you think it's because they're thinking about the erectile dysfunction? Or do you think it's just like a condition?
Probably lack of blood flow everywhere.
Huh.
Wouldn't that put you to sleep?
Well, with sleep
Okay.
apnea, it's like your tongue is blocking your airway, right?
I think
With
it's
sleep
I think
apnea,
you just can't sleep.
it's not necessarily your tongue. I think it's a lot of like extra weight.
Mhm.
That's one thing that contributes to it. I'm not sure exactly where the weight goes.
Well, because
and what
I
does,
know
but-
that like bodybuilders,
Mhm.
pretty much constant or like pretty much any bodybuilder has to
Mhm.
have a CPAP machine because their neck muscles make their
Mhm.
throat so much smaller that
Yep.
their tongue, if it falls in just like the perfect way, it's super easy for it to block their air hole.
and your air hole.
Yeah, I know.
And you're
There's
having-
definitely a better word for that, but
And when you can't get enough air in from just breathing normally, your oxygen goes down. And oxygen linked to the blood, you're probably having erectile dysfunction problems
okay.
too. I guess that's
Yeah.
just a spitball thing. We can get a doctor in here, sponsor a segment. Tell us what's really happening.
yeah,
Do 1 through 5 on erectile dysfunction.
let's get a doctor to come in just tell us about erectile dysfunction and all the issues associated
My
with it.
friend has erectile.
Is your mom defending your dad right now?
Yep.
Don't want to put that out there. Mr. Wood, he lives up to his last name. Sorry. Tanner, you have another one for us?
Yeah.
Apologize.
Prime Nation Live gets awkward this many times.
that can't be a 1 through 5.
27.
Yeah, we gotta have at least double digits on that one.
Speaking of double, this one's a two-parter.
Since
Giraffe.
double stuffed.
Yeah, giraffes only sleep blank hours a day in blank minute sessions.
1.
So well, no, I mean 2 individual answers.
Yeah,
2 and
okay,
4.
1, 5.
yeah.
Sydney?
4.
And
5.
all right, so Tyler was correct about the first part. Giraffes only sleep 2 hours a day, and Sydney and Cameron were correct. They do it in 5-minute intervals.
Oh, I had them backwards.
Well, then
So you were
that-
completely wrong.
you're
Yeah, I
totally
was
wrong.
completely wrong. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I said 5, yeah.
I was thinking they slept for 5 minutes at a time.
That's what I'm saying. They sleep for
Yeah.
2 hours during the whole whole day combines to 2 hours of sleep, and they do it in 5-minute intervals.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
I was
amazing.
I had a complete misunderstanding.
They're just hanging out with their friends, and then they go to sleep for 5 minutes, and they wake up and pretend nothing happened.
So then, how many sleep segments is that? That's 120 minutes divided by 5.
24 segments.
Wow. Huh.
So once an hour.
Oh
5
yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
God, we're so good at math.
Well, when we work as a team, we can accomplish anything.
I wonder if giraffes, if they just did 2 hours at once, how much better they would enjoy
Yeah,
life.
you probably can serve a lot of time there. That's 22 full hours in the
I wonder
day
if it's just long enough for their neck to like fully
for them to
get all the way
realize.
to the ground and
Yeah.
then touch their. Oh, I'm good.
Do you have any more, Tanner?
Yeah, let's do a winner take all.
Okay.
Here.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, and this one instead of 1 through 5, it's going to be 6 through 9.
I like those
Tyler,
numbers.
Damn it.
Huh?
An estimated blank out of 10 blind people have problems sleeping.
Oh, I know this. It's 7.
Is it all of them? No, they. There's
That's why
actually that
6 through
commercial.
9, 'cause that's why otherwise you could have said 10.
There's this commercial for non-24. You guys know what I'm talking about? For
No.
blind people, they have non-24-hour sleep cycles
Mm.
because they're blind. They don't take in light
Yeah,
from
makes
the
sense.
sun and the moon. What was the question? I heard blind people and I got excited.
It's this many out of 10 blind people have problems sleeping.
8.
6.
Cameron.
I said 7.
Oh. Tyler's correct. Tyler wins the whole thing. 3 out of
Nice.
10 blind
Gotta watch
people
more
have
commercials,
problems
fellas.
sleeping. That's gotta suck.
Being blind? Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, just that's another thing to add to the pile.
Yeah, really. Mm.
Oh, there is a guy that's like a blind movie critic on YouTube, and he answers just like general blind Q&As every once in a while. And one of the questions I do want to answer is how do you know when you're done wiping?
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. That's a good
That's
question.
mean. That's rude.
I'm genuinely
Well,
curious.
there's a
Yeah, too.
YouTube channel. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like things you would never ask. And I remember I watched one with Down syndrome where people submitted questions that they would never ask a person with Down syndrome in person, and it was really illuminating to hear their answers about it, like how they feel about sex and things like that.
Here's something
saw
I'd
two
ask a
videos
Down
that
syndrome
were-
person. How do you know when you're done wiping?
There were 2 of those videos, and I think BuzzFeed did them both, and I hated the way they did it because one was the questions that guys are afraid to ask girls, and the questions girls are afraid to ask guys. And with the
Why you being a bit?
the girls are afraid to ask guys, when the guys got the questions, they gave they honestly tried to answer
Yeah,
that. Like,
yeah.
what does an erection feel like? And they gave an honest attempted answer. Whereas, but the female one is no, straight up. It was like, what does a period what does a period feel like? And all the women were like, whoa, okay, you don't even know. And it's like,
yeah.
I don't. That's why
That's
the question
the
is being asked.
point of this entire segment.
I got another Down syndrome question.
Cameron,
How do you?
I'm right here.
Here we go. This is what I'd ask. I'd say, how do you know?
God.
All right, guys.
All right, when we go to edit for the podcast, we need to take these parts out.
Well, we got between Tanner's anti-Semitic and anti-African American comments. Yeah, we got a lot to chop out
Erectile
today.
dysfunction. This is a hell of a day.
It has been. It's been quite the episode, guys, but it is drawing to a close now. This has been Prime Nation Live on May 10th. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully our guest for the day will show up. Who knows, though?
I don't know,
Thursdays.
Gerard will probably be late.
Thursdays are typically pretty up in the air. Wednesdays have been pretty solid until old Charlie.
Tanner, wake up.
Maybe Charlie survived.
I'm running the freaking cameras.
Maybe Charlie survived, but then just like tripped getting out of bed or something. So now he's suffered a horrific accident now. But anyway, this has been the end of our show. Prime Nation Live, May 10th. I'm Sydney Roberts. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at SydneyRoberts18.
I'm Tyler Wood. Sydney has sleep apnea up on Wikipedia. He's educating himself. I'm Tyler Wood. You can find me on Twitter at Tyler W. Wood and on Instagram at Styler Wood. And you can find Prime Nation across all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Libsyn, SoundCloud, iTunes, all the rest of them at Prime Nation Live.
Oh, yes, and I'm Karen Smith. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Camboysmith. That's CAMBOISMIF.
And God help you if you want to find me, but if you do,
You can catch him outside.
yeah, Twitter at Tanner Method and YouTube page the Sinister Waffles channel.
Perfect, guys. Well, that's our show. We'll be back tomorrow, Thursday, May 11th at 10 a.m. live. Take it easy till then. Check us out on iTunes and YouTube in the meantime.